The Essendon coaching panel has met for the first time this week. We know that's a panel that consists of the likes of Robert Walls and Jordan Lewis, and they are accepting applications for the Essendon coaching role. Once they get that list of applicants, Caro, they're going to narrow that down to 5 and then interview those 5. There is an expectation from some people at Essendon that James Hird will apply.
Oh, look, he might. I don't think he'll get the job because I don't think they want a coach who hasn't been in the footy system for 6 years until this year. GWS are not certain whether they want James to stay on next year or not, so put James Hird aside. I don't see how, if they want an experienced coach, Essendon could expect Brad Scott or Ross Lyon to actually apply for the job and go through a process. Certainly not Brad Scott, who has a senior job at the AFL, might potentially be even more senior if Andrew Dillon becomes the new CEO of the AFL. How can he leave that job even temporarily and apply for an Essendon coaching job? I know that Essendon want to go through a process, but if they want you or Brad Scott, there's just no way in my mind, and we haven't discussed this before the show, that they can expect you to go through the psych tests and all the other things that someone like Adamuzze, for example, would be expected to do. Would you agree that I'm right about Brad Scott?
Yeah, I agree with Brad. Like, he's coached 2 prelims recently out the game and in a high-level job. So I don't think it's, in Brad Scott's case, that they sit there and it's just an interview. He needs to do his due diligence. You don't buy a business without walk the place, sniff the place, have...
If they want you, they talk to people at St Kilda and Freo and some of your ex-players, and they do the same with Brad.
Yeah, I think so. So, look, from mine and just as a media commentator, we talk about the process. I think it'd be great to get transparency on, before people apply, they're clear what the process is that you'd be asked to step through. What would any applicant, what is it? Is it a panel interview? Is there a psych test? Because my understanding is they're getting their ducks in a row, planning that process out. They met today, and I think at some point the public or those that need it will get visibility on it. Sam, but nobody's got visibility on it.
Anyone who's getting the job isn't applying, surely. Like when, say, for example, the Giants... Surely the Giants were reaching out to Adam Kingsley, Adamuzze.
Yeah, definitely.
They're not sitting back and waiting for 15, 20 assistant coaches from across the country saying, "Can I apply for the job?"
No, but I think you get interest from a myriad of ways. Some will be reaching out saying, "Can I apply? Can I go through the process?" Others will be deflecting to people who represent them, like managers, and others will be the Essendon Football Club reaching out to them to gauge interest.
There would be a lot of senior people, and I'm not going to every week make this like we did last year with Carlton, because that was tough on you, but you would want to know who the CEO is going to be of the football club. You would want to know that the club's united. Who's coming onto the board? Is there going to be a challenge to the board, as we occasionally hear about? What is Kevin Sheedy's role? Clearly no role in footy, given that they don't deem him worthy of being part of the coaching search, and they've brought in Robert Walls instead. But the CEO, I think, is really important, Sam. And I think Xavier Campbell finishes on Friday. They still haven't settled with Ben Rutten, and the club are denying there's a dispute over that.
They haven't settled, isn't it, in the contract, how much the money is going to be?
Well, it hasn't been done yet. And the club are denying there's any form of dispute.
Are you saying there is?
Well, I don't know, but they're denying there is, but certainly the settlement hasn't been done. So let's just hope it's done by Friday.
From personal experience, it just takes a little bit of time to step through and work through that process.
Sam, we're going to go to a break. Can you see Ken Hinkley or any current coaches of an AFL team being sounded out by the Bombers?
Oh, maybe sounded out, but I can't see any of them moving to Essendon. Just before, I haven't asked you this off-air previously. The report just about how there were some Essendon senior players wanted you.
Oh, that's nice.
Did you hear from any Essendon players personally?
No, who reported that?
I think it was
Sam Edmonds.
I think it was Sam Edmonds.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to comment and get caught into the vortex.
No, I know. I didn't want to ask you about the jobs
around me, but there's been a lot of generous words by a lot of people I respect, like Lee Matthews and that's really nice.
Chris Scott on Monday night.
Chris Scott.
Sitting there.
Yeah, and he spoke to anyone that goes in needs to understand what support they get and really that due diligence piece. So it's been generous. I spoke last week. I'm very cautious. And what I'd say, have any of you guys ever been in the position where you just can't really answer a question in a definitive a yes or no? Because I would say you've experienced those situations, and I'm sitting as a media commentator, but it's all swirling around, and that's where I sit. It's generous, but it's a bit confusing, to be honest, where I sit, because I work at Weisel Property Group full time. I do my media, and I haven't spoken to anybody.